Hi boys and girls, you just learned a little bit about Vincent van Gogh in the Brain Pop video, and I know that you know he was an incredible artist. He's known for his sunflowers, which of course we just created some sunflowers, and I want you to look at his and think about how his are different from ours. But he's got those beautiful shapes just like we have in ours. And of course, he's famous for not only still lifes, but for portraits. This is a portrait of him, and you can see his beautiful style of painting and how he's got those little brush strokes that are noticeable. His face almost looks hairy. Even parts of the face that aren't hairy look hairy. But today we're going to actually be looking at his landscapes. And I know that you've spent some time looking at the Starry Night, maybe last year. But I also want to notice some of his other landscapes that are just as beautiful and that show that swirling atmosphere. The sky looks like it's moving with those swirling lines that are moving through the center of the painting. These paintings are blue. We have a daytime sky, we have a nighttime sky, but you might also want to choose a color that represents maybe a hot sunny day or even sunset. So you're going to get to choose a color paper today. It's either going to be yellow or blue. And we're going to be creating some of these beautiful swirling lines in chalk as a first step in our next artwork, in our landscape artwork. So you get to choose yellow or blue, and I'm going to share with you on a blue paper how you might want to start this. Of course, you might want to create those swirling lines that seem to move across the page. And I find that when I create nice curved lines that swirl and repeat, repeating is the key for it to look like wind. If you want it to look like a windy day, these lines should repeat, because when you think of wind, wind actually moves in one direction, and if you create your lines moving in one direction, it's going to look like wind. If you feel like, when you think of wind whipping around, you think of a line like this, adding a line, whipping around, while it might feel that way to you, it's not going to look that way to people who are viewing your artwork. It's going to end up looking a little bit more like scribble. So we want to control those lines, and we want to create lines that show repeating movement. And again, you might create those beautiful swirled lines, or you may just want to create a very soft line. Now, if you're using a warm color like yellow, which of course we're using yellow and blue. Yellow and blue are two of his favorite colors to use in his artwork. So if you're using yellow, you can choose a warm colored chalk to draw with, and you should be able to see that really nicely. And if you're using blues, you can use a cool colored chalk that's in the basket to create your lines. And when you're finished, you'll just put your chalk back in the basket. You'll put your name on the paper. And this time you might want to wait to put your name on the paper at the end, because when you're starting your lines, you might want to restart if you're unhappy with the way you created them in the first place. So I always say, wait until you're finished and then go ahead and put your name on the back of the paper, the side that you don't want to use. So of course, I'm going to write Mrs. Gold, and I'm also going to write my class code. Remember your class code on the paper too. So make sure you do that. Your class code might be DL2, CA2, K2, whatever your class code is, make sure you include that.